Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in and watching today's video. My name is Jonathan. I'm the bearded Burton. And a couple weeks ago, I posted on my Instagram a picture of the inside of what pretty much my daily carry is now. The backpack that I have and what I carry in it. And I asked if people were interested in knowing all the details of what's inside. I really enjoy these videos. I know a lot of people do these. I haven't done one in quite some time, and people have always enjoyed them when I do post them. So all of you that commented saying that you wanted to see it and show us and whatever, I'm gonna deliver on that today and go over a very deep dive into my EDC pack and how I can transform this from being here in an urban environment or going to church or going into town or going to whatever it might be, and then immediately just swapping stuff out and being ready to go get in the woods and even do an overnighter out there if I need to. So stick with me and let's show you what we got. Real quick, I'll go over what this pack is. This is a GWA, or it stands for Gear Whores Anonymous. This is a Citadel, and this is the very first version they made, the original version 1. It's got the grab handle here on the side, and it only has one side pocket for a water bottle or a container or whatever. I bought this from my buddy Alan, used. I've always looked at these and really enjoyed them, but he had a really good sale price on it, and I couldn't resist it. And I just liked how it was kind of a subtle green, and even if I don't run any patches or anything on the front, it's pretty subtle, but it's simple. It's got some padding here on the back. It actually has a spot for a belt, but he didn't have that, and I really don't think I need it. The padding on the shoulders is a little bit minimal compared to some other packs that I have, but it works out fine. Again, I'm not like going on 5-day hiking trips with this, so to just wear it around town or wear it at an event like Blade Show or Georgia Bushcraft, or taking it day in and out in the vehicle or to wherever, it's not bad. And if I had to go out into the woods with it, this would be more than enough for even a whole weekend if I needed to. It does have a row of molly webbing here on the side that you could run potentially another pouch for a water bottle, but I just run the single one here on the side for me, and it works out great. There's buckles here on the side that also will clamp and compress this pack down nice and slim if you really want that. And the zippers run the full length, so it completely clamshells open. And I've just realized over the years that for a pack that I'm going to be using day in and day out, I have to have hook and loop on the inside of the pack. I have to be able to use my pouches and the way that I organize my stuff with hook and loop to be able to lay it all out, so I can just grab it and get what I need out of it and put it back in there, and there's not just a bunch of stuff fumbling around. So this outside pocket here is a stretchy material, and it works really well for if you're just throwing like a battery pack in there, or even some damp clothing or whatever. It stretches. You have a little admin pocket here. And then once we start getting into this, I'll show you the inside, but just the way it's laid out, it's really simple. It makes sense to me, and it's just worked for me. So these are difficult to get a hold of. As far as I know, they do drops and they sell out pretty quick. So if you're looking to get a GWA pack, I have seen that on their website, it kind of makes it difficult to get, but if you join the Facebook group, there's people there that sometimes post them up for sale. And then lastly, it does have the laptop sleeve in the back that is a bright red. And I don't really have much in here, but it's nice to have that feature if you want. Let's get into what's inside. All right, on the outside, immediate is I have some kind of water bottle. Right now, I have the Grail Titanium. This is the smaller one. The little cup on the bottom of it, and the lid sits inside this. And then this is a little pre-filter you can get from Campcraft Outdoors. So with any of your filters, this is any of them, the hollow fiber ones especially, you want to try to pre-filter your water before you run it through. So just dip this bag in the water and then hold this above the container and then press your water through it. So Grail, I had it with me because last time I used this, I was heading out to the woods. So this would get swapped out with an Nalgene or an insulated bottle. Like you can imagine, just bouncing back and forth between the city or the woods. But right now I had it set up for that. So that's really all that's on the external because there's only one pocket here. I like that. I don't like packs that, now I've gotten to the point I don't like packs that are huge and wide and stick out everywhere. This little outside pocket here that's kind of the stretchy fabric, I usually have a way to take notes, something to write down on. This happens to be a field notes cover from Stoic Innovations. And I'm gonna do my best to put all this down in the description below, links to everything in order as I show it. So it'll hold your standard 3x5 field notes with a little bit of room in the back for a pocket, and index cards I put in there, and then another 3x5, and then a couple of business card slots here, and your pen or pencil clips in back here. I really, really love this thing. I use it all the time, and it's awesome that he's local to me here in Texas out of Fort Worth, and that he's LEO. I also have in there a little pocket Bible. And then because of the times that we live in, a face covering, a face mask. So I don't wear it, but it's nice to have it. This top pocket here, I have a headlamp. This is a Phoenix HM50R. I really like this one. You can detach this from here and use it standalone. It's got a lockout mode and it has a red light and it holds a charge forever. And the whole body is metal with an O-ring. It's not cheap plastic that you drop and break. I have a lot of hard times with headlamps, and the Phoenix line has really worked out. I have a pair of black nitrile gloves. This will go into play here in a little bit when we start getting into, but just stuff on the outside that I'm going to use the most or can grab. I've got a carabiner here to be able to hang this or clip this on something. This is from Outdoor Element, and it also happens to have a striker here that you could use for a fire starter, and a bottle opener and a little blade to cut. Just handy to have. And that's it. Oh, I have a used Wazoo fire card. My collab with them that you pop out guitar picks in case I need to play guitar, This is a really good time for me to do this because I just kind of keep everything the same, so I don't really dig around in this. And I kind of have it as a hybrid right now of like, if I wanted to go to the woods or in an urban environment. So some of this stuff just stays in here that doesn't take up any room, like the gloves and the face mask and notepad and whatever. In the back here, this laptop pocket, I don't have anything in there except for this kneeling pad, this wax canvas kneeling pad. This is an old one that Wazoo collaborated with the company, but it just kind of rides back there and it works really well. So that's all I have back there. Sometimes I'll carry a pair of gloves back there too. All right, we'll get into the main components now. So like I said, it has these clips here on the side, and then this completely clamshells open. So one thing about packs like this is you've got to get used to your zippers being on the side, because if they're up here at the top, sometimes the weight can cause them to open up. So I'll flip this way for you so you can see how it clamshells. So this looks like a lot, and it is. I mean, this is probably about, I'd say, anywhere between 12 pounds. It's less than 15, but I'm pretty sure it's more than 10. So we'll go to this admin pocket. There's two. Both of them are zippered, and then it's just open with hook and loop on the back. So in this top pocket here, I have a little boo-boo kit, a little admin pouch, a med pouch from Tough Possum Gear. And this actually, if I don't feel like using the hook and loop, this will actually just go on to the back of my main med kit pouch. But in here, I just have basic stuff. I've got another set of gloves, some bandages, a cigarette lighter, and some like burn gel, burn cream, antiseptic wipes, just, you know, ibuprofen, just your basic little first aid kit. So that's right up here at the top. I can grab it really easy. There's my gloves. I have my gloves here. These are some my old BMX gloves that I really like them. They're kind of bright and crazy looking, but they have the ability for me to use a touch phone screen, and they're grippy enough. They're not great for the fire, but I like that they're a tighter fit. They're more, I get more dexterity with those gloves. And then I have a spare magazine for my pistol. This is a 9mm, and I have a Shadow Systems CR 920X, I believe. Oh, and then a pocket New Testament Bible in there. This is in case I need to give this to somebody. I can hand it to them if they're asking about it, and I can talk with them and share the good word with them if I need to. In this pocket here, all I have is my Leatherman and some allergy medication. Yeah, just my Leatherman. I'm a huge fan of the Leatherman Free P4. I've been running this now for a long time. You can mod these. I have a video on that on my channel, but basically you can modify the Phillips head portion here and run the old Leatherman bit kit with it. And it just adds a lot of versatility to an already great tool. So just have my multi-tool there. And so far, everything that's in here, I would be using in the woods. I'm gonna go over the distinctions of what I would swap out here in a second. I might switch to my leather gloves if I'm gonna go camping, but so far, everything I would keep the same. We'll work from the bottom up. In the bottom here, to just kind of line the bottom of the pack. The only negative that I have about this is this pack won't stand up by itself. It's soft, so you've got to pack it in a way that all the weight's at the bottom, and putting this Tough Possum survival scarf down here at the bottom just gives that little bit of squish and lets it conform to the ground and sit flat. This is the standard one. If I was going out in the woods, I would swap this out for the XL version. This is essentially just a tube. It's got a closed end down here and an opened end up here, and it's reversible. It's two layers. It's got the orange ripstop and then the gray, and it's a scarf, but you can use it as a container. You could pack this full of stuff and tie a knot around it and use it as like a shoulder sling. And then the XL one is big enough and long enough that you could actually use it as like a makeshift bivvy. So I would swap this out if I was going into the woods, because then that would give me something to get in, and I could fill that up with debris and have insulation for the night if I needed to camp. So next, I have a shelter system in here. This is from Coal Cracker Gear, Coal Cracker Bushcraft. This is the T60 emergency shelter, and it is awesome. It'll compact even further down than this, but this is a 5x7 tarp with cordage already built into it, to where you can just quickly run this as a lean-to. It's got cordage on one side that you can tie to one tree, even as simple as just tying your shoestrings, and then do the same thing on the other side. And then you just got to have two sticks. Basically, just grab two sticks and pull out the back. Really good insurance policy that weighs next to nothing. I did a really detailed review on this on my channel a while back, and people either love it or hate it. And I can tell you, I've had for years trying to figure out how to always have some kind of cover element in my pack that isn't bulky and huge or super loud, or like your grabber space blankets that you can really only set up sturdy once before the grommets rip out. And Dan at Coal Cracker found a solution, and I've been carrying this since now. It's going on almost 5 years, I would say. Next, I have my fixed blade. I have found out that I don't carry a fixed blade on my belt much anymore. I always have a really sturdy pocket knife with me, but my fixed blade I throw into my pack. I don't carry a lot of stuff on my belt, or I try not to carry a bunch of stuff in my pockets. I like being able to move and not be weighed down. So this is a custom model from L2 Right Knives. This is the 8-pin, and I really like the size of it. It's a little bit big, but it's super thin, 3/32 stock, really nice Scandi, and I just got to trick it out. It's got copper pins, glow liners, and then I have it in a Kydex sheath here, and a way to mount this pretty much any way I want with a multi-clip, and I can move these screws around on the back of this plate, and then a matching ferro rod to go with it. So this is a tool that will stay in here, whether I'm in the city or out in the woods. And then we'll start getting into now what I would be removing or adding. So if I was heading to the woods, I would remove some of the tools when we get into this thing and add like a saw, like a folding saw. And I might add a secondary container, and I might add a small, like lightweight, like jungle blanket or something that I would stuff down in the bottom for some insulation. But this tool would stay with me, and I swap out my knives pretty regularly, but I've really been enjoying the 8-pin model. Next, I have my med kit. This is a med kit for someone else. So I'm a firm believer that if you're going to carry a firearm or a way to defend yourself or defend others, you also need to be trained, and you also need to carry a way to provide aid. So in here is a pretty thorough kit. Depending on what your training is depending on what your kit should be. So you don't need to carry anything that you've never had training for. And the worst time that you want to use something is when you really need it. So you need to learn how to do this stuff before. So in here I have a tourniquet. This happens to be the one from Sam Splint or Sam Medical. They're the people who make Sam Splints. It's a super friendly, easy tourniquet for people that if they tell me they have medical training, or if I need to apply it really quickly, I can. I've been carrying this for quite a while now, and I even had it whenever I went through my wilderness first responder training when I was working in Alaska, and the instructor there loved this. There's not a lot of people that talk about this or rave about it, but it's essentially a ratcheting tourniquet. So it's got a device here that as you pull this through at a certain point, the tension presses down on this and it puts teeth into the tourniquet itself, and it does not allow it to back out. So then all you have to do, you quickly pull it on, it clicks, and you can let go of it and then twist the windlass to finish applying the pressure needed to stop the bleed. So I like it. I haven't had an issue with it, but like as far as training, but I've yet to deploy it, to a person. I have a couple of pair of natural gloves in here I can hand out or use myself. I have some compressed bandages in here, compressed gauze, 2 of those. I have an Israeli bandage in here. I have chest seals, some safety pins. I have a way to open up your airways through your nose, and then an opened Celox rapid bandage. So this might be controversial, but this is essentially just something for me to put on a wound to stop the bleed if it's not needing anything crazy. And it is opened, but I had to use this during a class with kids because the kid was cutting and slipped with their Mora knife and cut their hand. And so I opened this up and ripped a strip off of it and had them hold it onto there. So yes, it's opened and it's no longer sterile, but there's still a ton of bandage in here, and the working agent that stops the bleed is on there. And I would rather use this because they're expensive and we can deal with treating, you know, the wound later. A pair of the X shears in here that are a really small, compact way to cut material and get to where you need to find the bleeding. So you can see a lot goes into this little kit. It's got weight to it, but again, it's something that I just keep on me because I am carrying a firearm. And then even more than that, as an instructor and someone who's teaching others, I need to be able to have this with me to take care of people if, you know, something happens and we're, you know, far enough away from the vehicles. And again, this is for me to be able to render aid to someone else. I also have a way to render aid to myself. This is my own personal kit. It's really simple. These two kind of go hand in hand with each other. But this is from Stoic Innovations. Once again, the same company that makes that notepad. And it's everything based on a tourniquet. So it has your tourniquet here in the front. It's got a spot for a Sharpie marker. It's got a spot behind the tourniquet for your shears. And then this pocket here has a loop that you pull this out and it'll expand out. And in there I have one of the compressed gauzes. I think two of the, well, let's just open it up and see. So it goes like this and everything pulls out. So I have a compressed gauze. I have a gauze bandage here and a pair of natural gloves. So pretty minimalistic, but it's everything that you would need to stop the bleed if something were to happen. And again, you're trained that you're useless rendering aid to people if you can't, you know, save yourself first. So along with this kit and that little boo-boo kit, I'm more than covered for medical. It's a lot of stuff, but it's just one of those things. Once you go through that training, you just kind of feel inclined to have it with you because you're capable of doing it. Last little bit before we get into this that I would completely remove if I'm not going to be in an urban environment is just this little Skittles pouch that stays Velcroed up here at the top. And this is just a little odds and ends thing. So I got a waterproof lighter in here, an emergency whistle, some emergency tinder, a little light, some earplugs, some balm that you can use for, you know, whatever, take care of your blades or, you know, chapped lips or whatever, and a pocket bellows to stoke a fire, and then a little glow in the dark glow nut. The last thing that probably weighs the most for the whole pack, but it kind of gives it that foundation, is this fanny pack that Paladin 33 made for Glow Rhino. And it can be worn as like a chest sling or your traditional fanny pack, but this is something that I put in there if I know I'm going to be in an urban environment, or like if I'm traveling and I'm going to be staying at hotels or whatever. This gives me a way to just have gear on me without carrying a big pack. So if my wife and I, let's say we go on vacation and we're walking around a downtown area, instead of carrying this big pack, I can just grab this. So this is already loaded out with pretty much everything that would be in here, but I can just grab it. By adding just one or two things, I'd be set to go. So I would take the multi-tool, throw it in here, and I would take that spare magazine and throw it in here. And if I needed to, this gives me the ability to throw my firearm back here in the back if I'm not wearing it on my person. But usually when I have this with me, I have this slung like cross shoulder, and this is on my back, and then my firearm is in my appendix carry. So I'll go over this real quick. There's a lot of stuff in here. I should probably just do a separate video for this, but in the front here are just kind of like, oh crap tools. So I have a headlamp and a spare pocket knife. This is from Civivi. This is their, I think their Element, but I really like this. It's lightweight and it has both tweezers and a toothpick in here. Really sharp, sturdy toothpick and a really nice set of tweezers. And then this light is also from Phoenix, and this is the EO6R. It has UV, and I like that because I can look on the ground for bugs and scorpions before I lay down on it. I have a little eating utensil in here, a titanium eating utensil that folds. I don't remember who made this, but my buddy Craig and I got it at Blade Show after we saw somebody else with it. And then I essentially just have everything that's in the Wazoo cash belt just kind of blown out in here. So I have their little braided fishing line, their wire saw, their water purification kit with 2 tabs and a bag, a separate bag that you can boil in, 3 zip ties, and their snare wire tube with the fishing weight and kits and stuff in it. And then I have an awl that a buddy made for me that could also be used as a little defense tool. So that's everything that sits in the front pocket. And it's no different if I'm going camping or if I'm in an urban environment. I want a way to make water safe to drink for me. I want a way to defend myself. I want a way to see at night, and I want a way to make a fire. So just in that front pocket alone, I have a lot of that covered. It's pretty minimalistic and it's not the best, but if this is all I had, it's way better than nothing. So in this main pocket here, I have a portable first aid kit here. This is from Live the Creed, and it's essentially everything that I had in the other one, except it's got a SWAT T tourniquet. That's not my favorite. I definitely would prefer my usual, but this is so slim and compact, it makes it nice. It's got a boo-boo kit in here. It's got your nitrile gloves, and it's got a Celox bandage. So this is just a really easy, pocketable way to render first aid. I keep a second compressed bandage in here. I keep some goon tape. This is just some really good hockey grip style tape. Yet again, another way to cover my face. About 10 feet of paracord. Some more balm. This little pill bottle that has mint toothpicks, some really strong peppermint birch toothpicks in there. I really like those. And then my lock picking kit rides here in the back. I have the entry kit, I believe that's what it's called, from Tough Possum. This is pretty much all I would need. A lot of times I often just keep this in here and leave these at home, but I had this with me at my last time I was at Blade Show, and it never fails. There's always somebody that's locked out of their crates that they need to get to their knives when they've been traveling or whatever. So I had it in here, and it's still in here. This is probably the bulkiest part of it. I've got a comb set, and then I have just kind of my piece together picking set. And I can do a separate video going over all this. It's just kind of a good overview breakdown right now. Other than that, there's a little emergency tin in here with just some little tools, handcuff key, glow sticks, a diamond carbide saw, some Technora cordage, and a little signal mirror. Last but not least is this little zippered pocket right here, and I got a ferro rod and a little morale boost challenge coin from a good friend of mine that gave me an Hakuna Matata coin. It makes me laugh, see? That's it. So this is a lot, but again, I can just grab this and leave my pack in the hotel room or securely in my vehicle and still have a lot of the same components. And this is what I would essentially leave here at home, and my pack would then get tailored towards the woods if I'm wanting to move from an urban setting into the wooded environment. One last thing is, if I were to be moving into the wooded area or a certain class, I bring like a second container with me, like I mentioned. I'm really excited about this new one that I got from Cannon Provisions that Tac Valve makes. It's called a Mod Can. It's essentially a squeezable Nalgene bottle, and it's got a top that you can literally, like a sports bottle, and that's really good for, you can imagine, irrigating wounds or if you need to flush your eyes. And then I would also add some kind of radio and communication device, just depending on what I'm doing. I'll just throw this in every once in a while. Like, it just kind of bounces in and out, but depending on what I'm doing and where I'm going. So that's everything that I keep in my pack. It really hasn't changed much throughout the year. I've finally gotten to a point where I really enjoy this system and just how it all works and the modularity of it all. So hope you enjoyed this video. If there's anything else that you wanted to know about or for me to go more in detail about, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to film a video for you and showing you something up close. And if you get a chance, share this with somebody that might be interested. Otherwise, appreciate your support. Remember, get outside and enjoy the woods.